Hey everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to create your own virtual locker. By completing this activity, it's going to help me get to know a little bit more about you. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself to your English Canvas page. So you can see here I'm in my Honors English 10 page, but if you have me for English 9, these steps are going to be exactly the same. So from Canvas, you'll click on Modules, and you'll want to open up the Virtual Locker activity. So scrolling down here, the description, exactly what I was saying before. Doing this activity is going to help me get to know you better, and I've even provided an example there for you of my own virtual locker if you want to check that out. But truly the first step for you to get started is to download and make a copy of the following Google slide, this virtual locker. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to force me to make a copy of it. And first thing when I get here, I want to rename this because I don't like that copy of your name here. So I'm going to call it Lohmann. There we go. So that way when you eventually submit this to me, it's got your name attached to it right at the top. Now, you'll see here that on the first slide we have a picture of just some lockers, one of which is open. That's going to be my locker, and I'm going to fill it with a bunch of stuff. And then on this second slide, there is an area to provide an explanation of all the things I add in my locker and kind of why I have added those in there. So I don't really like to work on Google Slides in the web browser here. I'd rather work on them in the Google Slides app, which I have. So I'm actually going to switch over to Slides now, and I'm going to see here my Craig Lohmann one that I just created. So I'm going to open that up. It's just, I think, a little bit easier to work in this app when it comes to adding in some images. So speaking of adding in images, what I want to do is I want to either use images that I have already on my iPad or that I've shared to my iPad that I've taken, or do a search online to find some images that I'd want to add. And the things I might want to include are pictures of my friends and family, my pets, maybe some images of my favorite food to put in there, or maybe some things I do for fun, music posters, whatever. On the Canvas page for the assignment description, I've added in some different ideas for things you can include that tell me about you. So the first thing I can think to add, at least in my locker when I was in high school, I liked to add posters of music. So what I'm going to do for that is go to my web browser and open up a new page, and I like the band Green Day. So I'm going to do Green Day poster. And just for the sake of ease, I'm going to just choose this first picture that is here. So I'm going to add that to my photos, go back to Slides, and then at the top right corner of this, in this toolbar, you'll see a plus sign. If I click on that, I can select to add an image from my photos. And I'm going to select this poster that I just downloaded. Now that's ridiculously big. Obviously, you'll want to resize it and make it appropriate. Even smaller than that, that seems reasonable. So I'm going to add a Green Day poster right there. Now, I can also add images that I already have on my device. So next, I'm going to add a picture of me and my fiance. So again, I'll click on Images, choose from my photos, and I'm going to, right there, there's a picture of the day I proposed to my fiance, Ashley, and I like that picture. I would, of course, add that in my locker. I'm going to add that on the back. Maybe I've printed it out really big. All right, you might not include something so big because you want to add in a variety of items and you don't want them to take up too much space, but I'm going to keep it a little bit bigger here so you can see it. Now, it makes sense to just add the picture and not have to do any editing other than resizing them for pictures like this, but there might be some items I want to include in my locker that would have a background to it that I don't want to have. For example, I'm going to add a picture that I took of myself right here and I want this to kind of be me standing next to my locker and pointing to the things inside. But right now, that looks kind of ridiculous because you see a completely different background that doesn't fit. I don't want that. So I'm actually going to delete that out of there, and I'm going to do something special. Under the Canvas assignment, I included a link to a web page called Remove Background. So what you can do when you click on the link and you get to this page is I can choose to upload an image and choose from my photo library. And let's go to all my photos, and I'm going to click on this picture. Done. You can see I was already doing it before. But whereas it has that brick background, it's actually going to take that all out and just leave me. So what I'm going to do is add that to my photos. And now if I choose to add that image, it is purely just going to add me right in there and not that disgusting background that didn't fit in with the rest. And I can resize it to, make it look proper proportions. I can do that with other images I find online or pictures that I already have on my iPad or whatever device you're using. But that's going to be a really helpful tool, especially if you're wanting to include a picture that has a background that doesn't really go with the rest of the image. So please consider using that to make your piece look really polished. So obviously I would want to add in more things than just a couple pictures and myself. But for the sake of this, hopefully those demonstrations help get you started. The last thing I'll want to do here before I submit it is, this is why I added a picture of blah, 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 blah. Give me just a brief description. Say, I added the image of my friends or my family because they're really important to me. I added a music poster because I really like that band. They're my favorite. Things like that. Just real brief descriptions. Give me an explanation of why you added the things that you added. Once you have completed your locker and filled it with items that tell me about you and given your brief explanation of why you included those items, the last step is to just submit this completed virtual locker to me under that Canvas assignment, and then I can view it and I can start to get to know more about you. I hope this helps, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a message. I'd be happy to help you out in any way I can. Thanks.